Are you a brand new assistant principal or somebody who has aspirations to be an assistant principal? Well, if that's you, in today's video, we're going to be unveiling not only some secrets to help you survive, but also thrive in your leadership position. So to help you cast vision with your principal, successfully lead your team, and go and do great things for kids, grab that pen and paper, take some notes. We're going to jump right in, and we're starting right now. Hey everybody, my name is Gordon and welcome to another episode. If this is your first time with us, on this channel, we use my experience from classroom teacher all the way up to practicing school district superintendent to help you write better resumes, write better cover letters, how to interview with confidence for that dream job that you have in educational leadership. We talk about Clifton strengths. We talk about all things educational leadership related. So if this is your first time, don't forget to hit that subscribe button as well as the bell notification so you don't miss any cool updates or any of our newest episodes. Okay, everybody, we're going to jump right in with section number 1, leadership challenges. So the very first thing as an assistant principal that you want to know in order to be able to thrive in your job is to understand your role. The role of an assistant principal is to help the principal execute on their vision. Whatever that principal's vision is for the direction that they want to take the school, it is your job to support that. It is your job to make sure that you are cheering that on, and it is your job to make sure that they are able to connect the dots. Whatever's in their head and on a piece of paper and being pushed out to the staff, it is your job to help that principal execute on that vision. So the number one first thing you want to make sure you do is know and understand what the principal's vision is, and then figure out what your role is in helping them to execute that. Secondly, you want to make sure that you understand that your job is going to have lots of different competing areas, lots of competing interests. So you're going to have to really learn how to do tons of time management and prioritization, because this is a real challenge, especially for a brand new assistant principal, understanding the scope and the scale of what your job and your responsibilities are. Many assistant principals will have 5 to 10 different core responsibilities that they're responsible for. They may be responsible for professional development. They may be responsible for the facilities. They may be responsible for the master schedule. They may be responsible for ASB or student clubs and student activities. All these different things will be a part of your umbrella of responsibilities, as well as instructional leadership and employee supervision. All those pieces are going to be there. So understanding how to maximize your time, manage your time, and then also prioritize what are the most essential pieces that you're responsible for. And you're going to learn and know that by having frequent, ongoing dialogue and conversation with your principal, getting in their head to understand what their priorities are, because their priorities will drive your priorities. So never ever forget, time management and prioritization is going to be critical and essential skills for you to be able to demonstrate and be able to do on a daily basis, so that way you can manage all of the tasks and all the responsibilities that you have. Then the third piece, which is going to build right off of pieces 1 and 2, is the ability to build resilience. This is a long, hard, arduous job. The days start early and many times they go very late. And so understanding how to build resilience, how to understand that there will be ups and downs, there will be peaks and valleys as an assistant principal, but understand that your core purpose is to execute on the principal's vision, but also to support scholars and student learning. And so understanding that you will have trials and tribulations. You can't make everybody happy. You can't do everything that everybody asks you to do. But if you keep focused and you stay locked in to the key pieces that are important, knowing, understanding your responsibilities, being able to effectively manage your time and prioritize what needs to happen, and then understanding that as you're growing and developing as a leader, you're going to build that resilience to be able to push through those times of adversity, push through those challenges, those concerns, those issues, those disagreements that you might have with staff, those tough decisions that you're going to have to make, those tough situations where you're going to have to say one of the most powerful words in the English language, which is no. As an assistant principal, this is kind of maybe in one of the first places as a school leader where you're able to say no. Obviously, as a classroom teacher, you get to tell students no quite often, but this is one of those circumstances where you now are able to tell adults no, for good reasons, obviously, but that word is powerful. So you have to understand that that also will create more and more challenges. The more power, the more influence, the more impact, the more authority that you're given. Power is probably the wrong word, so I'm going to back up a little bit. But let's not use power, but let's just use authority. The more authority you have and the more times you can exercise your discretion to say the word no for the benefit of the organization, the benefit for students, the more important it's going to be. But the more you're going to have to build up that resilience to understand that you can walk in a room and not everybody be excited or happy to see you. But that's leadership. And getting comfortable with that is going to be one of your major leadership challenges. Leadership challenges is going to be section number 1. So as you reflect on leadership challenges and the things that we've laid out in today's episode, I want to encourage you to share what types of leadership challenges and what types of leadership concerns have you faced. Drop those in the comments below. I'd love to hear your insights. There's a lot to be learned from us sharing our experiences and our comments with one another. So drop those in the comments below. And let's move on to section number 2. Section number 2, building a team. As you move into the assistant principal position, and if you really want to thrive in this position, you're going to want to learn how to build a team. And so one of the first things you'll learn as a new assistant principal is you're going to be given a lot of responsibility for hiring and talent acquisition. Now, the principal, in many cases, will do a lot of the heavy lifting with respect to teachers, with respect to counselors, with respect to a lot of maybe the certificated positions. But in most schools, there is a very, very large contingent of not only certificated employees, classroom teachers, counselors, psychologists, et cetera, but also our classified staff. And so in my experience, when I was an assistant principal, I did a fair amount of the hiring on the classified side. So really going through the hiring and the talent acquisition process, doing interviews, screening applications, doing reference calls and reference checks. Your role will be critical in being able to help the principal build out an entire team, both on the certificated and the classified side. And while you might take on the lion's share of the interviewing and the hiring process for the classified side, trust me, you are going to sit in on numerous interview panels for grade level teachers, content level teachers, counselors. If there are more than one assistant principal, you'll likely find yourself on the interview panel to hire on an additional colleague. So being able to know and understand how important it is to be able to seek out talent, recognize talent when you see it, and recognize how they will fit into the team that you are already building alongside with the principal and alongside with the staff and the school community. That's going to be a critical piece. So building a school team and hiring that right team is going to be a core function. The more you become an expert in identifying talent, the faster you're going to thrive in this position, because the faster we identify and bring in talent, the stronger the team that we're going to build. Second, being able to build a positive school culture. This is all tied to building a team. So the type of culture that we build is all about the team that we build, the group of people that we bring in, how we're identifying our core values and what are our belief systems. So working alongside the principal to really articulate, here's who we are and what we're all about. And then here's how we're going to filter those beliefs, those principles, those values out to the staff, and then have the staff start to build on that. Because building that positive school culture where students and staff and administration and the school community and parents and families all feel connected. They all feel a part of something. They feel like they belong. They feel like they are connected to the school, and that the school is a core part of their identity and core part of their community. This is all a core function of being an effective school leader. And I can tell you, assistant principals who understand how important it is to build that positive school culture and contribute to that positive school culture and build that up, it is an asset that will benefit the school for years, decades to come. When there's a school that is thriving because it has a positive school culture, then that school is just taking off. It's a rocket ship, and kids benefit from it, staff benefits from it, and the school community benefits from it. So understanding how important it is to build that positive school culture and taking overt actions to do that is going to be critically important to your role of thriving as an assistant principal. And then the third component of building a team is effective communication. One of the biggest challenges, but one of the core competencies of being a school leader, is effectively communicating, because there are so many people, so many stakeholders, so many different constituencies to communicate with. Our job as school leaders, if there was one nugget I wanted you to take from this video, is to remember this piece specifically. As educational leaders, you communicate in 3 dimensions. You communicate up, you communicate sideways, and you communicate down. You communicate up because you're always feeding information up to your principal and feeding information up to the district office. You communicate sideways with colleagues, other assistant principals, whether they're on your site or at a different site, but you have to effectively communicate also sideways, meaning with another assistant principal, with somebody who has a similar job level of you, a similar level of authority of you. Being an effective teammate in that environment is going to be critically important as well. And then also of equal importance is the ability to communicate down to people who report to you. So teachers who report to you, staff who reports to you, students, all of those different constituencies. How do you effectively communicate with them as well? And then the 4th dimension is external communication outside of the organization. So not students, not staff, not administrators, not supervisors, but your parents, your school, your community-based leaders, your educational partners, whether they be post-secondary, so colleges, universities, local elected officials, all those different external communicators. We have got to be consummate and effective communicators with a number of different constituencies. When we're able to do that and be effective communicators, that will also help us build a team and build our team's reputation, not only within the building, but also within the larger school community as well. So always work on honing those critically effective communication skills. So now I'd love to hear from you again in the comments. Have you ever experienced some significant challenges in team building? How to build a team? Have you experienced challenges where you've run into some roadblocks there? I'd love to hear your comments and I'd love to hear your insights. So drop those in the comments below. What types of challenges have you experienced when it comes to building a team? Put that in the comments below and let's move to section number 3. Okay, so section number 3 might be a little bit different, but hang with me. Section number 3 is about navigating school politics. And if you think for 1 second there aren't politics that exist within a school, please don't kid yourself. I can tell you, after 23 years of doing this work, from classroom teacher all the way up to school district superintendent and running an entire school district, politics are all throughout our work, but not politics in the traditional sense. So let's talk a little bit about this. There is always an internal culture that exists within an organization. And that culture will have politics, it will have factions, it will have cliques, it will have different teams. One of the most powerful things that we can do as we work to navigate those politics will be understanding the natural gifts and talents of others. And one of the things that I have always focused on is Clifton strengths, my strengths. So I know what my natural gifts, my natural talents, the natural things that I do well that will help me enhance the organization and enhance the outcomes of the organization. When we start to focus on folks' strengths, then we can move past some of the politics. We can move past some of the internal culture and some of the clickiness, because if we're just focused on what people know and do really well, and we can focus on their assets and their attributes and the things that they really, really like to do, then we can kind of cut through some of that noise. So really focusing on people's strengths. And if you want to learn more about Clifton strengths, you can check out this video right here. If you want to learn more about Clifton strengths, we can talk all about that. But what I can tell you, as soon as you know and understand what somebody else's gifts and talents are, and you honor them and you value them, you will start to build relationships. You will start to build connections, which takes us right into section number 2 of navigating the school politics, which is all about building relationships. How effective are you at connecting with people and showing that empathy, that emotional intelligence of the ability to connect, build relationships, be authentic, be empathetic, be compassionate? That's all about building relationships, because as we build relationships, we will build trust. So spending time listening to people, letting people give you their perspective, and really genuinely listening to help understand what it is that they're hoping for, what they're looking for, what they're trying to solve, what problems are they trying to solve. Those are all things that we do as we're trying to work to build relationships with folks. So the more that you do that, the faster you're going to be able to connect and navigate some of the challenges and some of the concerns that will happen with some internal politics within an organization, focusing on their strengths and then building relationships through authentic interactions and building time. Time will help to build those relationships. And then third, and it is inherent in every organization, the ability to mediate and resolve conflict. This is a skill that sometimes is difficult for folks, especially new assistant principals. So please don't get frustrated with yourself if you don't do it well to start. We certainly can teach you skills and strategies of how to resolve conflict, how to just kind of take it head on. But the one thing I'll tell you about being able to resolve conflict is all about understanding the value that somebody brings, the challenges that they may be facing, the concerns that they may have, and if they are in conflict with someone else, it's understanding that both these parties have a value and both these parties have something that they care deeply about. How do we help them explore that? How do we help them unpack that? How do we show value to each party, that each party has a perspective and has value that they're bringing to the table? And then how do we then work to find some common ground? That takes time, but being able to mediate and resolve conflict is going to be core and essential to your ability to thrive as an assistant principal. So just remember, as we think about how to navigate school politics, we have to be able to remember that it's about understanding school culture. It's about being able to build relationships authentically and effectively with people. And then critically important, it's the ability to resolve and mediate conflict. When we can do those pieces, we will build a thriving school culture, and we'll build a thriving organization, not driven by politics, but driven by organizational excellence, or the pursuit of organizational excellence. So there you have it, 3 major categories and lots of different tactical strategies and things to think about for not only surviving, but also thriving as an assistant principal. And also, don't forget, you can check the description below to get our guide on acing your next leadership interview. So if you don't have the job yet, but you want to get a leg above all those other candidates, get that free guide. It's going to give you tips, strategies, and frameworks that'll put you a cut above the rest when you do that next interview, because I want you to get that next job. So if you got some value out of today's video, don't forget to hit that subscribe button, give us a thumbs up, share this with a friend, share it with 10 friends. We're on a mission here to provide as much value as possible, because we want to identify the next educational leaders, our next teachers, our next counselors, our next principals, our next assistant principals, our next superintendents. That's where we're going. I've spent the last 23 years leading and learning in this profession, and it is my life's calling, and I want to bring as many people to this profession as well. So don't forget to check the description below for other resources, information on coaching, Clifton Strengths, all those different resources are there. So don't forget to check the description below. Don't forget to check the next video out that you see here. And we can't wait to continue to serve you. So until we see you the next time, I want you to be well, and we'll talk real soon. Thanks, everyone.